My name is Vida Carson, and I'm the financial planner at Northern Savings in Terrace.
Hi, my name's Jackie Touche, and I'm the financial advisor working out of the Prince Rupert branch, and I also service Haida Gwaii.
So Jackie, a couple of months ago, I turned 59, and I got a lovely letter in the mail from the Canada Pension Plan telling me about what benefits I can expect at what age. So I thought this would be a great topic to discuss.
Wow, Vida, I can't believe you got that letter already.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all. But this is oftentimes a question that members or clients have when they come in is, when should I take my CPP? So I thought it would be a great idea to talk about it here. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I also get the question quite often about what age that my client should take CPP at, 60, 65, or wait. A lot of times people don't realize that it doesn't have to be a hard number. It doesn't have to be 60 or 65. So every year they take it before 65, it's reduced by 7.2% per month, or per year, I have at 0.6% per month. And there's no right answer to that question, right, Vida?
For me, everything is an individual decision. There are any number of factors that will come into play, and it's something that you may want to talk to your financial advisor about just to get the right information. But the very first place people should go when they want information about their Canada Pension Plan is to their Service Canada account so that they can actually find out what their contributions are.
Exactly, because I think a lot of people assume that they will get the maximum CPP. And as we know, I think you have the number there about what actually is the average amount of CPP somebody would usually receive, right, Vida?
I do. Typically, the maximum amount of Canada Pension Plan that somebody would receive would be if they've contributed the maximum from the working years of 18 to 65. And that maximum is just about $1,200 a month. The average that people can expect to receive at the age of 65 is still under $700 a month. So that's a significant difference. And then when you reduce it by 0.6% a month that you collected before the age of 65, it can actually reduce it quite a bit. So if you're expecting $1,200 a month and you're only going to be getting $500, that's quite a significant gap that you're going to need to get income from some other source.
Yeah. And also, we need to ensure that people know that for CPP, they have to request their payment for CPP, that it doesn't just come automatically at a certain age. And if they want to, they can not request it until they're 71 years old. And every year after age 65, it does now go up by 0.7% per month. So there may be reasons why somebody would not take it until they're 71, until they're 70. As one time I had a client that was 71 years old and they didn't know that they had to request it, and they were wondering why they hadn't received their CPP. And they need to make sure they do request that soon after they turn 70, because CRA, or Government of Canada, will only go back a couple years, or I think it's one year to 18 months to pay back any CPP that should have been paid out to the person.
That's right, Jackie. People need to be aware that they're responsible for making the decision when they want to start and actually doing the application. I find for most people, the decision is all going to be based on cash flow. Cash flow is the main criteria for everything we do in our lives.
Yeah. And also, if somebody wants to request their CPP at 60 and continue to work, then they also get the post-retirement benefit. So they'll continue to contribute to CPP over that time. And as they collect their CPP, if they continue to work, then they will actually have their CPP increased as time goes on.
That is true. What I find most people do is they've read all these articles or heard from a friend or a neighbor that the earlier you collect your CPP, the longer you're going to collect it for. And the majority of people will find that they get the most money out of $1 per dollar if they collect sooner. But the reality is a lot of people who are still working think that they will start collecting it sooner and not spend it and save it. But that requires a level of self-discipline that a lot of us don't have. So I think sometimes you have to know yourself and your spending habits and your cash flow habits to make the correct decision for you long term. Because once you've made your initial decision, you're not going to be able to change it.
That's right. And also, when we have two spouses and they're trying to determine when each person should take their CPP, I think it's good that they actually look, and it is a good alternative, or it is a good idea sometimes, where one spouse would take CPP earlier than 65, so maybe 60, and one spouse would wait till 65. As unfortunately, if something were to happen and they both waited till 65 and they were both either at the maximum or close to the maximum, the survivor can only ever collect the maximum CPP. So they don't get to keep their own CPP plus their spouse's CPP. One person can only ever collect the maximum. So I think people do need to weigh out those options as well.
That is so true, Jackie. And I don't know whether we touched on it earlier or not, but Canada Pension Plan is based on your contribution history during your working years. So it's from 18 to 65. And if you get your contribution statement, it tells you every single year how much you contributed to Canada Pension Plan. And if there's a little M beside it, that means you've maximized your contribution, which means in all likelihood, if you've got a lot of M's, you will get the maximum payment that anybody can receive. The other thing to remember is that if you took time out of your working career to raise children, you're allowed to take 7 years off for child rearing years out of the equation to determine how much you get. And the other thing is you will also take out, I can't remember if it's 7 or 8 of your low income earning years, which also helps with your equation. I know my first income year, because my birthday's in December, it was very minimal because there was only 1 month that I contributed to it. So that one will be wiped out of the equation.
And another option we haven't touched on is when there's a employee that has a bridge benefit. So if they retire before the age of 65, their employer may have a top-up amount that they pay them between the age of 60 and 65. So in that case, they probably would want to wait until they're 65 to collect their CPP, as the bridge benefit will top them up between 60 to 65.
That's true, Jackie. The other factor that comes into it, and it's really kind of unfortunate to talk about, but is if you know you have a limited life expectancy or a shortened life expectancy, you may want to collect it earlier just so that you can get the most value out of it. If you don't have a spouse, there's no future benefit for children or anybody else if you don't collect it.
So Vida, the answer is, when should we take CPP? There is no right answer. I think the best thing is for people to come in and have a chat with a financial advisor, weigh the options, see what is potentially best for them and for their income and their cash flow in retirement.
That's exactly it, Jackie. This is, again, one of my favorite answers. It totally depends on the individual circumstances. And sometimes it's best to come in and get an unbiased professional opinion to help you make your decision.
That's right. So Vida, the magic question is, when will you take your CPP?
And that's one I don't have an answer to right now, Jackie. I'll just continue working, and because of my position, I'm not going to collect my CPP until I stop working. But for other people, that might be a good possibility and a good option for them. But for me, I'm just going to keep working for the meantime.